Hey, what's up there, Internet Troy to the max extreme here.
Dinosaur Neil.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
And together, we fart as Imperius Rex. On today's show, we are going over a Japanese horror tale from Junji Ito.
Oh my. Would you call it a classic?
No.
So Troy, this is your first dip into the Junji Ito waters.
Yes.
And last?
Quite possibly.
Well, before we get too far in, it wouldn't be Halloween if I didn't have a little something for you guys. So
Wow. God.
don't you worry.
More 30-year-old gum.
I almost bought some gas station sushi to give you.
Oh, God. You want us to die and stink?
Seemed appropriate. But instead, I got some fish-flavored craft beers.
Oh, great.
And by
Wonderful.
flavored, I mean they have a picture of a fish on them.
Thank God.
Wonderful.
So we have a variety here. I'm just going to let you reach in and grab what you'd like.
I'm going to Russian roulette this.
All right.
And do this one. Colossal Claude from Rogue.
From Rogue.
From Rogue.
Oh!
Zoinks!
That's a juicy IPA. That's got a fishman on it.
A fishman?
Got a spooky diver.
Yep.
I was really reaching as I got to the end. And I will go with, what do we got here? I'm going to do Pounder. Hazy Pale Ale with a picture of a fish being squashed with a boxing glove. So cheers to the third, possibly fourth if you count our live stream, Halloween special this year.
Yeah.
And you might be wondering, why the fish theme? Well,
Yeah, I guess we didn't really say what it's about. We just made a lot of fart noises and moved on.
well, fish and farts aplenty coming up in today's episode because we are talking about GYO.
You know what GYO means in Japanese?
Tell us.
Fish.
Oh, makes sense.
I thought there was going to be more to that.
Nope.
Just a clear
So did
shot.
I.
So you may have already heard that we are doing a fundraiser to provide our favorite comic books and others' favorite comic books to a local graphic design studio that we all participated in as youth.
Kept
we
us
are-
off the streets.
That's right.
Yeah.
We are very close to that goal, if not gone over already. As
Oh,
this,
boy.
we recorded it.
I'm going to have to check with the business manager.
Yeah.
She's still crunching the numbers up there, but she'll let us know. She'll
Yeah.
let us know by the time this airs.
Uh,
Either we did it, or pony up the dick.
Either way, we are so close. So I'm not going to reiterate everything right now. We made a whole video about it. You can find it in the description down below.
We got a lot of show to get into.
But boy, do we.
Before we get too far along here, I know we've had to pump the brakes a couple times, but I would be remiss if I didn't include the next generation of Imperius Rex, some may say. I'm bringing in a ringer on this one, fellas.
Oh,
We have a
my.
guest, someone that gave this a thorough, deep dive read.
Wow.
And I think we should bring him on down here to talk GYO with us
I think it will shock you.
at my parenting. So here he is. We just reeled him in. What do you want to be called?
I don't know.
Schmuppy?
Yeah.
Okay, we call him Schmuppy. So we brought in an expert,
Yeah.
a fish lover, enthusiast, to walk us through the masterpiece GYO, which you read over my shoulder as I was reading it before bed, right?
Mhm.
You just digested the whole thing? Really struck a chord with you? All right, so hang tight. We're going to give a little synopsis of what it is, and then I want you to just chime in with whatever floats your boat.
Woof.
How about that?
All these.
So many maritime puns.
Yeah.
So, what's this about?
So
Hold on. Roman, what's this about?
It's about, like, these fish, like, somehow get, like, these, robot legs and start coming on land and attacking humans.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's no good.
not
No.
good at all.
Especially...
Fish usually aren't walking.
No.
For one.
That's right.
2, they're underwater. Fart's not probably as stinky.
Oh,
You could never smell them underwater, or else you drown by trying to smell water.
classic.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna give you this. Feel free to use it. Follow your heart whenever appropriate.
Follow your fart, you might say.
The lead characters in this, Tadashi and a Kaori.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Better than when we did Uzumaki, right?
Yeah, that was pretty.
Not bad.
That was pretty close for all your other pronunciations there.
Yeah, so they are befallen by these aquatic, now terrestrial monstrosities.
Yes.
And by monstrosities, they're regular fish,
Right.
Yeah.
but with legs.
Oh yes. With
Someti-
spindly, spidery legs.
But sometimes sharks. Or squid.
Or a whale.
Oh,
How many of those have we found so far of a whale?
There's a lot
Oh,
of
that
them.
just have to be like a compilation. Like,
So this book is weird, right?
yes, it is very weird.
So, Troy,
Uh-huh.
what did you think of GYO?
I started this, and I was expecting the spookiest. I only knew that it was a master of horror, right? Writing this, all right?
Yep.
Japanese Stephen King, some people say.
Who says?
I don't, but I've heard it.
All right.
Okay. No. And anyway, I'm diving into this thing, and the first thing I think is that this dude needs to kill this lady because she will not shut up about a stink.
Oh, yeah.
A stink that is so horrid that's all she can talk about for pages, chapters even,
And just screaming.
and just
at poor
screaming,
Tadashi.
being just, sorry schmups, a bitch, just insufferable.
Oh.
She needs to go now, and she is in this throughout. Granted,
In different forms.
different in one form or another.
Becomes a little less mobile, and then a lot more mobile.
But I'm like, God, she is insufferable. It made her kind of hard to read because I was actually getting upset just reading her dialogue. I don't know why, but it's like, pick something else to talk about. It's just like, if you came home, it's like, hey, can you take out the garbage? Yeah, I'll get to the garbage in just a second. The garbage is just everywhere in this house. I get it, just a minute. The garbage is all I can talk about. I was like, oh God, okay.
So what is the stink? Where's the stink coming from? Not a jar of stink in this case.
It's not a jar of stink this
No.
time. It's just a wafting, farty, vaporous thing that is being excreted from the sea life that has now become terrestrial. Which you don't know what it is at first because it's like this little skittering thing crawling across the floor, just giving you the heebie-jeebies.
So what happens when that thing scutters into their room?
Then after a little bit, Tadashi squishes it with a table,
Yeah.
Squishes it
Yeah,
good.
he does.
And what do they do with it?
and then they throw it away.
They put it in the
In
garbage.
the garbage.
They do.
You'd think that's the last we'd see of it. You'd be wrong.
Dead wrong.
That thing farts up that tight garbage bag and just floats
Flies away.
around.
Becomes a hot air balloon of stink.
People that don't know what this is are watching this being like, what on earth are they reading?
To be fair, if you're reading this book, you're like, what on earth am I reading?
There's stinky fish, and they've got legs, and they're terrorizing. They're everywhere. They're swarming. They're like
Yeah.
zombies. They're taking over.
Yeah,
this
it
place.
is like a zombie. Like the seas are emptying.
The shark parts were fantastic.
Oh,
Shark
yeah.
parts are great.
That is a spooky thing. I think old Junji even said that was kind of the inspiration. He's like, you know what's scary? Jaws. You know what would be scarier? Jaws with legs that can eat you on land. And just farting up the place. So they're terrorized by like some great white sharks that are just chasing them down like
Yeah.
tight alleys.
Yeah.
Which it's like, ooh, that would be scary.
Yeah, yeah. That part fills you with dread. That's pretty great. It's like really good horror stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you would think that would be the majority of the book.
It's not. It's very minimal.
Yeah. Shmuppy, what's most of the book? So let's talk a little bit about how these fish are powered.
Sure. It's like a perpetual motion machine run on farts. Like,
Okay, we're saying fart a lot, and it's a fart. But the gas is coming out of the mouth.
It's coming out of every hole.
orifice.
It's mouth farts as well.
There are tubes going in asses.
Yeah.
And mouths.
And
mouths.
Not the same tube.
No, different tubes.
That
a mouth
makes it
tube
better.
and ass tubes.
But what it's essentially explained as like a germ, and the germ is like it's like a cloud, and it's like a
toxin that was created during World War II.
Yeah.
To make this death stench
Yeah.
that they could power these machines and send them over enemy lines to just like wipe out territories.
Yes.
But it got sunk in a battleship, and it's been sitting, festering,
Yeah.
gurgling at the bottom of the sea.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Thinking up
then
the place.
someone let one slip.
It's evolution at its finest. Then one finally crawls to the shore, and then here we are. But yeah, this quickly takes hold though. Like thinking about just the picturing all these skittering animals, like large and small, and all this farting. It is actually horrifying to think about it.
Oh yeah. And if you aren't saying that they're farting and it's just a gross, horrible death stench, it's not as laughable.
yeah.
But maybe there's like a language barrier where something was kind of lost in translation, where I read this and I'm like, is it supposed to be kind of funny? Because, like, I mean, was that what he was going for? Because it's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have like air escaping from something and then saying it stinks and not put it together. It's farts, right? Once you finally unravel that secret, that it's like an old World War II thing, now it's just come back to haunt them. I felt like that's the point in the book, though, where it started like to drag for me. Once it like they over-explained kind of what's going on, and it was like the mystery was kind of gone. Then, like you still don't know. It's like, so like, are they fully autonomous and they make themselves? You would have to.
We don't know.
That, right?
Yeah, it kind of evolves, I guess, because they're like there's no seams. There's nowhere where they're welded together. They've just like evolved into these mechanical spider legs.
Yeah. I want to say right there, though, it's like maybe the halfway point. I was kind of getting a little bored with the book because it wasn't doing anything new anymore, and it was just kind of. It was evolving into like now it's taking human hosts, and it was having that, but I kind of expected that to happen from the cover,
Right.
of the back cover of the book where it's got
Tubes and mouths and asses.
tubes and mouths and butts and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the
There
one.
it is. How can I forget?
And if you forget that manga reads backwards like I did,
Oh, yeah.
you open it up right to the end. Oh, all right.
So, Schmuffy, what were some standout moments where the fish were just tearing up the place?
Octopus.
Oh,
It's like a
octopus.
squid octopus kind of thing.
What was the most notable thing that you thought about that octopus?
It had a lot of wrinkles on his forehead.
So it did.
Terrifying.
I've heard this many times. So that's what throws him into the pit of shrimp and stuff. That rascally octopus.
Yeah.
And this whole time he's dragging around his bloated girlfriend.
Yeah, she sucks,
Yeah.
P.S.
So she gets infected.
Yeah.
People can also get infected by this thing, and they bloat up full of gas. She gets so disturbed by what she's turning into that she tries to hang herself from a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
And he walks in, and she's just spinning around farting in circles from the fan.
Had a fart attack.
Yeah.
Sure did.
There are certain people who are also immune, like our protagonist.
Yep.
He can't be infected by the germ, therefore he doesn't bloat. So he's just like pretty much just struggling
Just
alone.
living the dream.
Yeah.
Every man's fantasy.
We also come across his uncle.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
And he is a bit of a scientist himself.
Oh, nice.
He is very curious about this, since he's doing his own like little secret experiments on it, and creates his own autonomous device in which he hooks himself up to.
That's a blimp.
Yeah. And becomes a fart zeppelin or some shit like that.
And they can also fire shit, right?
Is
They're
it shit?
What else could it be?
I
They're
don't
firing
know.
stinky
Like
black
goop?
goop.
I don't know.
I mean, they don't spell it out, but it's pretty much
Poop.
yeah.
Poop.
And that is after he gets his hand amputated because he removes a fish from its walking apparatus and it clamps onto his arm. And he's like, ah! Yeah. And then when they see him again, they're like, what happened to you? He's like, oh, I had to cut my hand off.
No,
but look at what it's done to my hand. My hand is now powered by farts. And it is.
The things on the... Let's go back and talk about the shark and fish. Are they sentient? Is the shark chasing them because it's hungry, or is it dead already?
I'm gonna toss this over to the expert here. Shark expert.
I don't know, mate. I'm guessing that it's probably just like hunting, because like that's what it's meant to do.
Primordial brain taking over. Okay. This also, the story wraps up, I feel, very quickly.
Yes, it does.
Very quickly. He's like, hey, I guess I'm just a lone survivor. Nope, you're with us. The end.
My first reaction to the end was he's sitting there, and then just like 4 nerds poke up behind him like, we're college students. We're going to go find a cure. And he's like, I want to see her with my dead bones girlfriend.
Also, why is he still hanging out with her? She sucked. And then she turns into this monster, and he's like, she's still got something for me, I guess.
Let me drag her around
Look at
town.
these old, gross bones. You're sick. Just leave her alone.
So I like that you brought up with the fish on whether or not they're sentient, because there is a moment where you're like, do the humans that are in there know what's going on?
Yeah.
And I think there is a bit of that, like, RoboCop, I'm gonna break the 4th directive kind of thing going on here, where she's in this machine, just farting away in this tube, and she sees the main character with another girl, and like, and then like you can see like tears running down her face or whatever,
and she flips shit,
and she
not literally.
But it's not deeply explored because she's just torn to shreds right after that, pretty much. So
I also love the quick side trip to the circus that he takes.
What is that? Because, okay, those people are obviously sentient, but don't they see the state of the world outside? Like, nobody would want to come pay for this?
It's the perfect time for a show.
Okay. Look at all these guys just farting into horns.
Lighting their farts up. And seeing all the demonic faces in there. So they do say that, like, this death stench is like this almost otherworldly entity. Mm-hmm. And when they light it up, you can really see it. You can really see the farts.
Mm-hmm. Farts come to life. Yeah.
Before your very eyes.
Now, Troy, this being your first Ito book, what did you think of the artwork?
I like the artwork. Yeah.
I agree.
What did you think of the fart work? Punctuation.
Because I gotta say, there are some times when he'd like do like a gross close-up, and it's just disgusting looking.
It was like Ren and Stimpy.
Yes!
Exactly what I was going to say.
SpongeBob, yeah.
What else do you think? Any other notes? What do your notes say?
I have something I didn't add. When the fish like explode, like the rib cage, just kind of like the contraption that like cooks up the humans. Like the rib cage kind of like grasps onto them.
Yeah, that is something that we missed. You're the only one not drinking here. So good. I expect you to come down with a Fresca. Just really let your hair down. But yeah, eventually the fish get so full of gas that they just explode, and then those walking husks just snatch up humans and start inserting things in places, and then they're powered. And I thought there was one almost like Matrix-like moment where there's just these big walking legs, and they just keep grabbing people and just putting them on the pile, basically. And there's just like a stack of like 30 bodies all in the same position. They're all just like
fetal position, tube and butt, tube and mouth.
Yeah.
Extracting gas.
Yeah.
I mean, you can laugh about this all day long, which we have. But it is a absolutely horrific premise.
Yes.
That this thing is going to just like turn you into a sentient gas-powered engine.
Yeah.
It's so gross.
I think if this was adapted to live action, it would have like
a human centipede vibe?
A little bit. Like I feel like I would feel the horror a little bit more than I did reading it. Because I mean, I kind of laughed the whole way through. Because there's like very
Junji Ito's a comedic
bizarre
genius.
things going on in this book that it's like hard to take serious for me.
Mm-hmm.
As a person who loves horror, that's not... I shouldn't even put that in quotes. It's just a circle with a line through it. Ghostbusters style. This has been adapted, though.
It has.
Into an anime.
Correct. So tell us about the anime, because you were asking me to watch it for quite some time, and finally we watched it. It's hard to get. We had to pirate a copy because you can't buy it anywhere. Don't pirate things, kids. But in this case, go ahead. It's fish farts. Who's gonna call you out on that? What'd you think?
It was very similar to the book. One of the only main differences is that the boy main character was swapped with a girl.
Yeah, they kind of swap out some character roles.
Okay.
Maybe they just thought it was too far to put this poor girl through all the apparatus that goes in and out of her.
Yeah.
And she's less whiny in the adaptation, too.
Yeah.
And then they bring in, like, some friends that they also kind of dish out the pain to.
Okay.
So, rather than the lead character falling into the pit of shrimp and getting out, one of the friends just falls in and dies. I'm like, oh, okay. Stakes are higher, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Now, do they use fart noises?
No.
Is it
really.
whooshing noises?
I think there's some
Yeah.
whooshing. There's definitely some squelching.
Okay.
Because we used the subtitles on this.
Oh, yeah.
We went for the full experience.
Nice.
Yeah, the shark plays a little bit more of a role. He comes back a few times. The octopus, all the favorites are in there.
Okay.
It is a pretty faithful adaptation.
Okay.
Nice.
And when I looked it up, because I was like, I gotta buy this. Can't buy it. But it had terrible reviews. And I was like, okay. We went into it with very low expectations. And I don't watch a whole lot of anime, so I don't have a whole lot to base it on. But I thought it was pretty solid. Like, I don't know what more you'd need.
I'd imagine if you went into that cold. Oh, with the book as well. You're gonna be like, what?
So yeah, I would recommend it. I thought it was a pretty faithful adaptation. They tightened it up a little bit, but they kept almost every beat of it. They even they put the circus in there, and I was like, there's no way they're putting the fucking circus in here.
Full circus.
They had the blimp in there.
Oh,
and he was shooting shit.
Okay.
Nice.
So this thing was something else.
Yes.
Whether or not you enjoyed it, do you give it points for creativity?
I do give it creativity points, a gold star.
You will never read anything like this.
Nope.
And I think that is the statement of every Junji Ito book.
Yes.
Where eventually, he does that so often, you gotta get to farts. You've done spirals, you've done balloon heads. Eventually, you continue down that path.
Yeah.
You reach
There's
fart,
one
you get
logical destination.
Yeah. So, Troy, tell me about your reading experience.
Well, my reading experience was done while I had horrible stomach pain. Mostly because I had some weird stomach bug. So the threat of me having a fart attack was imminent. But that made me see a race to the end to see if there was a real cure in there. Turns out, nope.
Just get
It's either
boned.
I'm just going to get boned or I'll just end up being immune.
Yep.
Hopefully I am the latter.
All right.
Yeah, right. With your luck.
Yeah, I know.
How's your foot?
Yeah, bad.
Oh,
Farted off.
So as we wrap up, this was a little shorter than some of his other full-on novels. I don't know what you'd call them. Books. It included 2 short stories at the end of it. One very short.
Yes.
And one a bit longer. And we should chat a little bit about that too.
Yeah, I would really like to talk about those.
Right.
Probably more than the fish farts. Neil, I'll let you start off.
Sure. So the first one right after GYO is literally it's like 4 pages, I think.
And it's called The Sad Tale of the Principal Post.
Yeah. Yep. So it's the most straightforward book I think I've ever read. But I don't think, laughed so hard at the end of a book because it revolves around a man stuck under the principal post of his house.
Yeah.
And his family only hears hollering throughout the house of, "Help me, I'm stuck, I'm stuck." They go to find him under the house, trapped under the principal post. And they're like, "How'd you get under there?" And he's like, "There's no time, I'll explain later." And then he dies. The end.
Yep, that's it.
That description was almost longer than the story.
It was! And the only reason they didn't want to get him out is because if they cut down the principal post, their new house would fall down.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Can't have it.
Let him die.
It would kill all of them, so it was his fatherly duty to remain there under the post.
Yep.
Which we're left scratching our heads on. Just how did he get under that post?
So I have many thoughts on this book.
I feel like you have a very strong attachment to this dad.
I really do. So, like, there's a whole party going on upstairs, right? The dad's nowhere to be found. Excellent choice. He just ditched and he just putzed around under the house instead. Like, he could have just stepped on a board and been like, I'm gonna go check that out. Yeah. Ends up under a post somehow. And then you can, like, to me, I read it like, God dang it, I'm under a post. God! Come on! Hey! 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 I'm down here! Damn it! I'm under a post! And then they're like, what the
Troy, we can't help you. It's the principal post.
I can't hear you, Troy. You're under this post.
Yeah, I'm under a post! Help!
You're right under there, aren't you?
But Troy, we just built this house.
I tried to fix. Damn it, I'm stuck. Help me. That's the tone I read it in. Like, he would rather be doing anything else than to hang out with his shitty family and go just putz around under the house. Like,
Under the post.
and I enjoyed this wholeheartedly. It was amazing palate cleanser for the last thing I just got done reading. I think I might have closed the book and just sat there and thought about it for a while on how much I loved that dad got stuck under the post.
I'm glad you made it here, not got unstuck. You were putzing around in your basement and I'm stuck under a post.
I want to just see a dramatization of you closing the book, leaning back, and then the camera zooms back, and you're under the post.
God
Damn it! Chelsea!
Chelsea, I'm under a post!
What? How'd you get under the post?
I mean,
There's no time.
we are under the house.
Just
We
shut
are.
up and help! Help me! I could go on that for more, but there is one more story as well. Mm-hmm. This one was quite interesting, and I really liked the ending to it a lot.
Yeah.
This was my first Junji Ito story that I ever read. I heard of him years back, like, he's the guy you need.
Okay.
If you like horror and posts. And I was like, I haven't read any manga. Huh?
And fish.
And fish. And farts.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But I was like, okay, I'll check this thing out. I've heard good things. I read it online, and I was like, that was chilling.
Yes.
And this is called The Enigma of Amigara Fault.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about this one.
So there's this mysterious fault line that opens up
On some mountains.
on some mountains, and it's broadcast on the news, and it like draws the ire of a crowd that want to go check it out. And this one guy shows up because he kind of gets lost hiking or whatever it is.
Got a post in your throat.
Yeah. And he meets this woman that said, like, I saw my silhouette in that mountain. I came to check it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut the fuck up. No, you didn't.
You dumb bitch.
Idiot. No, you didn't.
Don't repeat that.
But he ends up finding his own silhouette in the mountain after all these other people have come and found their own silhouettes in there too.
Like
which
a
is
carving.
Yeah.
A hole in the shape of
in the shape of them.
themselves.
Yeah. And even though it could be as nondescript as just like the outline of me, they know it's them.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is
like it's calling to them.
Yeah.
They're just being drawn towards it.
even some go to the lengths of like rocking up their silhouette so they couldn't be tempted of going in. But nay, they just undo all that shit and just like just get sucked right in.
Yeah, so some of them that push it too far, they go into the hole.
Yeah.
They're like, it's calling to me.
Yeah.
And they go in, and very terrifying, very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how do they get in there?
Yeah, and they
Do
just
they
do
just,
one
like-
of these, like vibrating themselves
just, like-
into it.
Hop in.
Yeah. I thought it was like a little baby step thing where it's like,
I imagined it that way. Just kind of shake into it and just shimmy down this hole.
Yeah. So what'd you think of this?
I thought it was creepy.
Very creepy.
Yeah, because the main character in that one has like nightmares every night after he's like, I'm not going to this hole, and then has a nightmare about going to that hole.
Oh, you bet he does.
Doctor Strange, don't you go in that hole!
Go in that hole. Oh my god.
But people are going in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At a rapid rate, and then they're never seen again. And
That's
we're like,
right.
What's down there? I mean, it's so tight. What are they doing?
Even when you shine a light in there, you can't see the end.
And
So it's
people
like,
are
why?
throwing like fiber wires down there, can't find the end of that hole.
Right.
That's right. And that is essentially it until like the last page. Essentially.
Only like 2 more pages.
Yeah,
to
2
explain.
pages. My bad.
Where another fault opens up, I don't know, miles away from this other one.
On the other side of
Yeah,
the mountain.
of this mountain. And it's the other side of the holes, but it just looks like random cracks in there.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the lines, it just stretches and contorts them, their silhouettes, into these fault line cracks till they're at the end, and they're just like...
These transfigured...
Just like ribbons of people.
Yes. Yeah, so it's one passage, but along the way, it gets all stretched out and broken up so that the people that go into their silhouettes come out the other side just stretched
Destroyed.
to pieces.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still alive
Yes.
and cognizant and just in horrible agony as they, like, vibrate their way to the other end.
Well, I've already gone halfway. I'm going to go all the way through this.
And it's revealed because there's like this mountain climbing team there, and they're like, "Oh, look at this weird hole!" And they shine a light in, and they see this deformed person like going.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Yes.
That was scarier than the fish story.
Oh yeah,
By 1,000%.
yes, and that is what most of his stories are like. It's that vibe.
I'm going to throw this on you, though. What's more likely to happen? We could all get trapped under a post, more likely than the rest of them.
Oh.
I think that's the scariest.
That's the reality of truth. Anyone can be under a post at any minute.
Oh my god.
Check your posts, kids.
Or don't.
That's very true. Watch out for the postman, too. You don't know what they're up to.
What do I got in that bag?
Oh my
Mail? Yeah, right.
Probably a large post.
Oh, got this for
Boom.
you.
And
You're
you're
under
done. You're under this now.
Junji Ito. What a ride. What a ride we went on.
I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah.
I said the same thing when we read Uzumaki last
Yeah.
year.
I would say Uzumaki is like a little bit more put together, or I wouldn't even say that. It's just different, like drastically different. But he can take these small, weird concepts and turn them into a 400-page story, and you're like, amazing.
That reads like a breeze, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
manga, I think, is generally briefer. They're longer, but, like, you flip through them.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, you flip through them.
Yeah. You're just flying. I read 300 pages in one afternoon.
In one bathroom trip.
Yeah.
I couldn't go anywhere. I was under a post. Where am I going?
But yeah, I'm excited to read more Junji Ito because this stuff is just so easy and fun to read and occasionally spooky.
Yes.
This just dipped the toes into spookiness for me.
Yep.
I was okay with it.
You're okay, so you made it through.
I
You're
did
on
make it
round
through.
3, and you're doing all right.
I'm still here.
All right. Well, wow. How do you like that? We got one more to go. Later this week. Last stop on our spooky tour bus.
Yeah.
Let me dab myself off from this terror sweat that's just
I
formed from me.
thought there was flop sweat.
I confuse the two very easily.
So we got one more. So make sure to tune in a little bit later in this week around Halloween time where we take a little detour over to Harrow County.
But what book are we reading?
We're going to read Harrow County. Schmuppy, thank you so much for joining us. and
Yeah.
for reading this. I've been trying to push comics on this kid for years.
And this is how you start.
And this is the one that you're peeking over my shoulder. I'm reading this. Like, this is so... Like, I hope no one's watching me read this. I look over and you're just like...
Go back! I missed you.
Let me see the whale again.
The funny thing was, I joined in the second chapter, so I had no idea what happened in the first one. And
Turns out, doesn't matter.
I just glanced over and I saw like this fish with legs. I'm like, wait, what happened?
I knew as soon as you saw a legged fish, I was like, shit, he's going to be on board with this. He's going to eat
First
this
chapter, all you hear is complaining women.
Wow.
It's nothing. You didn't miss anything.
You'll get enough of it when you're married. Just kidding. Treat women with respect they deserve.
Yep. Yes. Anybody can be annoying.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the lesson out there.
That's right.
But that's going to be it. So let us know down below if you've dipped your toe into this fart-filled festival of fun.
Nice.
And hit us up in the comments. If you'd like to join our Patreon, you're more than welcome to do so, because while there, you get a plethora of things like early episodes and access to our Discord, where the chat goes.
That's the
all
real
day,
treat.
all night.
That
Yeah.
Discord.
Oh, is it ever?
That's right.
And don't forget, we also have merch on redbubble.com, so you can check that out as well to get merch with all of our faces on it.
That's right. But that's going to be it. Maybe there'll be a new merch of me under a post.
Oh my god.
Working on it now.
Let's do it.
I want double it.
You got it.
But that's going to be it. So until next time, where we have more horrifying, spooky goodness, I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
Dinosaur Neil.
Schmuffy.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
We've been Imperius Rex. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
All right. In 3, 2.
You're just going to keep doing that.
Does it make you nervous that my hand is on the trigger? All right.